Oh, and happy St. Patrick's Day! Well, today you're going to find out that there's a lot more to this holiday than just green shamrock shakes and corned beef sandwiches. So let's get started. So, who was this larger-than-life patron saint of Ireland that has an entire day devoted to him? He was very real, and you might be surprised to learn that he wasn't even Irish. Born in 373 in what is now modern-day Scotland, Patrick was brought up in a land occupied by the Romans. His father was a tax collector. His grandfather was a priest. Patrick was a Christian, but really an atheist. So let's clear up something right now. Fun fact. Patrick was not born with that name. His real name was Maewyn Succat.
His name was
St. Patrick.
Hold on! You are not old enough to talk. And your name is not yet St. Patrick.
Sorry.
Your name is Maewyn Succat.
Even though his family was Christian, he wasn't really a believer. He had very little interest in anything Christian. He lived a very comfortable and uneventful life until he was 16. Patrick was walking on a beach near his home and he was captured by pirates or Irish raiders. They brought Patrick, or Maewyn, to Ireland and sold him as a slave. It's important to know that Ireland was a rough and dangerous country at this time. The Irish people were druids and pagans who worshipped the sun and nature. They had warlords and chieftains who fought with each other all the time. Patrick was sold to a cruel warrior chief and put to work to take care of his pigs and his sheep. Day after day, he went without food, clothes, and shelter. Alone and frightened, he turned to God. Patrick began to pray. In his book, he wrote that he started praying 100 times that day and 100 times at night. That's a lot of prayers. One night, while he was praying, God came to him in a dream and said, "Soon you will go back to your country. A ship is waiting for you." It was basically a miracle that he was able to escape without being caught. And yes, a ship was waiting for him. Needless to say, his family was overjoyed to have their son back. But 6 years of struggle had changed Patrick. He wanted to become a priest. So, after 12 years of studying and praying, Patrick became a priest and then a bishop. But Christ came knocking. Again, in a dream, he heard a call to go back to Ireland. The Pope gave him permission, and he went back to the very people who had enslaved him and hurt him to start, yes, his mission. But Ireland was still a rough land. Patrick worked tirelessly without fear to teach the Irish about God and to see his goodness and love and turn away from the Druids. So how did the warlords and the chieftains take all this? Not well. Patrick and his companions were in constant danger. But he persevered and he carried on with his work. He translated the Gospels into Irish. He built the very first churches in Ireland. His believers and his followers became priests and disciples. But most importantly, he was able to explain the Blessed Trinity with a common shamrock. His mission and his work was wildly successful. He transformed an entire nation to Christianity by baptizing, setting up monasteries, schools, and churches all across Ireland. Fun fact, legend has it that St. Patrick banished the snakes in Ireland by chasing them into the sea after they attacked him. However, evidence suggests that post-glacial Ireland never had any snakes. The snakes are more of a symbol of driving out evil and the Irish people turning back to God. Patrick died on March 17th in 461. The feast day of saints is always celebrated on the death day. So, how do the Irish celebrate their patron saint? In Ireland, St. Patrick's Day is a holy day of obligation, starting with Mass and followed by small local parades. Even the pubs used to be closed. Now, following on the heels of their Irish-American cousins across the pond, St. Patrick's Day is looking more like the festive celebrations that we're used to here in the States, with parades and performances in Dublin and other parts of the country as well. In Chicago, the rivers dyed green, and in New York and Boston, they have parades that attract millions of people dressed in green from head to toe. So, what is it about St. Patrick that we should remember and honor him? For one, perseverance. He survived and thrived by trusting in God. Another is forgiveness. Instead of being angry and bitter about being dragged away from his family at 16, he forgave all of that and devoted the rest of his life to the people of Ireland. So, happy St. Patrick's Day, and where is my Shamrock Shake? Sláinte. See you next time.